What happens when the brains of the Incredibles takes on the brawn of Megamind? Today we're putting Syndrome, the genius villain armed with cutting-edge tech and his deadly Omnidroid, against Titan, the reckless powerhouse who nearly destroyed Metro City with his raw strength. It's a battle of gadgets versus god-like power, strategy versus sheer chaos. Let's break down who would actually come out on top when these two animated titans clash. Let's get to it. Buddy started out as Mr. Incredible's biggest fan, but when Mr. Incredible rejected him as his sidekick, Incrediboy, that rejection turned into obsession. From then on, Buddy, now Syndrome, plotted his revenge. Using his genius intellect, he sold advanced inventions to foreign nations, raked in a fortune, and funneled it all into building deadly prototype robots. These machines, the Omnidroids, were designed to wipe out superheroes one by one, learning and adapting after every fight, until they were perfected for his ultimate target, Mr. Incredible himself. And once Syndrome finally defeated the Parr family, he unleashed his newest Omnidroid on the city. Also, he could swoop in, play hero, and bask in the fame and fortune he always thought he deserved. Now, here's the thing about Syndrome. Physically, he's just an ordinary guy. Sure, while flying around, he can slam people into walls, shake off a few hits, and even dodge attacks at close range. But he's not superhuman. Not even close. What he lacks in muscle, though, he makes up for with raw intelligence. Remember, this guy built rocket boots as a kid. By adulthood, those upgraded boots let him fly at insane speeds, fast enough to catch up to Mr. Incredible after tossing him across a mile of jungle. His gadgets only got crazier from there. A single depth charge from his arsenal created an explosion powerful enough to launch Mr. Incredible through the air. Then there's his signature weapon, these 0-point energy beams. These things can freeze opponents in midair and ragdoll them like toys. There's basically no limit to what they can pin down. He caught an 18-wheeler truck out of the sky in an instant. He easily immobilized Mr. Incredible, slammed him around like it was nothing, and even trapped the entire Parr family at once, without breaking a sweat. And of course, we can't ignore the Omnidroids. All hand-built by Syndrome, these robots aren't just machines, they're executioners. They slaughtered countless superheroes, some with insanely powerful abilities like density manipulation, telepathy, foresight, and elemental control. In his final creation, the ultimate Omnidroid was so advanced that it overpowered Mr. Incredible outright, at least until Syndrome's own hubris caught up with him. When cameraman Hal Stewart was accidentally infused with Metro Man's DNA by Megamind, well, that's how he gained his powers and became the supervillain Titan. Yeah, Megamind tried his best to groom him into a proper hero or to challenge him in a fight, but instead, Hal quickly went absolutely mad with power, and since their powers are stated to be the same, most of Titan's feats should be applicable to Metro Man and vice versa, and that does help him a lot with scaling, because Titan doesn't have a ton of feats to his name. Now, when it comes to strength, well, there are really two things that Titan has going for him. One is that he was able to absolutely destroy Megamind's Metro Man suit, which was an attempt by Megamind to copy Metro Man's powers. And while I'm not entirely sure just how powerful the suit actually was in comparison to Metro Man, we can say that the suit should be just as powerful as Titan himself, because Megamind gave both of them their powers in the same way, and Titan was able to fight against and overpower the mech. And the second thing, and this one is really impressive, he was able to topple a pretty big part of a skyscraper, then threw it way far away with incredible accuracy, meaning that he had great precision and control while he was doing it, just showing off how strong he actually is. Now, we've never really seen Titan's durability tested at all. His best durability is probably fighting against the mech and surviving this explosion. That's about it. It's kind of the same for speed for Titan. Now, if we're basing him off of Metro Man, well, Titan has absolutely ludicrous speed. Like ridiculous speed. So I've never seen Titan actually do this. If he's anything like Metro Man, he's got some of the best speed in the universe. In the middle of a conversation, Metro Man was able to move so fast that everything around him came to a stop. Time came crashing down, and he had a full-on existential crisis in this moment. He traveled around the world, read books, sat out of his thoughts, really took his time with it. The dude was reconsidering his whole existence. He did it all in an instant while time was frozen around him. If Titan is even using a fraction of this speed, well, then he is absolutely insanely fast. Either way, Titan is definitely a threat, powerful enough to threaten whole cities when he really lets loose. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, I really think there are two main ways to look at this fight. Because on one hand, well, Syndrome can just try and fight Titan hand to hand with just his tech. And on the other hand, we can give Syndrome the Omnidroid. And if we're looking at the first fight, well, really, the only thing that Syndrome has going for him are his 0-point energy gauntlets. Just by pointing his finger, well, he can completely freeze someone, prevent them from moving, then kind of throw them around however he wants. And sometimes he can really send them flying. You can even argue that Syndrome can actually tag Titan with this blast. Because here's the thing, for as fast as Metro Man is, and Metro Man is obviously stupid fast, I find it really, really hard to believe that Titan scales to him exactly. For one, Metro Man had way more experience and a grasp on his powers, unlike Titan, who had them for a month or so at most, along with being an alien as opposed to a human upgraded with these powers. So assuming they have identical powers is questionable. It's also implied that Metro Man was holding back in his many confrontations with Megamind due to finding his life boring, which is backed up by the fact that Megamind was genuinely shocked at the idea of him managing to kill Metro Man. So the idea that Megamind's training was enough to bring Titan up to the same level of power or skill as Metro Man is also questionable. Finally, since Titan's first reaction to Megamind, disguised as Metro Man, was to run away in fear, we see that despite being an idiot and having a massive ego, even Titan himself believes he's inferior to Metro Man. You can't just naturally assume that Titan scales to Metro Man's greatest feats. Now, I do think you can scale Titan to some of Metro Man's lesser feats, but Syndrome is surprisingly fast. Like, surprisingly fast. He was able to catch the whole Incredibles family in his energy beam several different times, including Dash, the resident speedster of the group. But really, all of the Incredibles are fast. Like Mr. Incredible was able to react to and dodge Jack's laser vision, which is just literally a laser. And Syndrome was tagging him and reacting to him several times. All in all, I bet Syndrome could get Titan caught with his 0-point energy. The problem is, well, what happens then? Because it's not like Syndrome can actually injure him. Titan is way, way too tough for that. And Syndrome is way too cocky and careless to keep Titan suspended for all time. And it's debatable on if the zero energy can even contain Titan's heat vision. And all it's going to take is Titan destroying that tech. There's nothing Syndrome can do. He can't possibly win, and he's getting one shot. Syndrome with the Omnidroid? It's a lot more debatable though, because the Omnidroid is a seriously powerful piece of tech. Thanks to his company and resources, Syndrome poured both into making the ultimate assassination robot, with its target being superheroes. It does this thanks to not only a wide assortment of weapons and a super durable shell, but its adaptive AI. In short, this intelligence enables it to solve any problem it's confronted with and adapt to a foe by learning their tactics to exploit them in the long run. Mirage even claims every moment you spend fighting it, it only increases its knowledge on how to beat you. We've seen this in fighting Mr. Incredible and his family on separate occasions, and only being stopped due to using its own weapons to destroy it. Even more impressive was its slaughter of dozens of experienced superheroes through both its AI and the modifications Syndrome made, and the unlikely event it lost. This includes people capable of making storms, radiation bursts, controlling gravity, and oh, so much more that Disney somehow got in a PG movie. Of its many weapons as a cloaking device, mechanical limbs that can smash, stab, and slam anything, gets its helicopter blade arms around, it can roll up into a ball, move around, and of course, some pretty powerful laser blast. And the Omnidroid doesn't just scale to Mr. Incredible and the rest of the family, but also to heroes like Hypershock, who can create magnitude 6 earthquakes, and plenty more. It's seriously powerful, with its best feat coming in as it flew from the island, then crash landed in roughly Chicago, was totally fine, which would have come in at around 70 tons. Plus, there's the whole thing where apparently the Omnidroid is so tough that it can only injure itself. Outside of that, well, it was just too tough. However, I don't want to get into a no limits fallacy there. The Omnidroid can obviously be hurt by something outside of itself, and Titan is just the man to do that. For starters, for even as impressive as crash landing into the city was, Titan is clearly way stronger with being able to casually lift up and throw the upper half of a skyscraper. And that's not even him really trying. Titan creating that massive explosion clocked in at 800 tons. And even though the Omnidroid is beating heroes like Hypershock, well, Titan is outstatting villains like Lady Doppler, who can create storms that range hundreds of miles. Any way you spin it, Titan is more powerful than the Omnidroid. So, end of the day, while Syndrome could try his best, he'd probably give it a good fight, but there's no real way that he's winning here. Titan is just way too powerful and way too much for him to take down. Titan wins.